Orlando, PA announcer when he was doing the starting lineups a couple of years ago. Because the same guy's there who was there when I was there in 1992. And he introduced his whole team and he goes, and the Warriors are coached by Magic legend Steve Kerr. I was there 4 months, might have played 100 minutes total. Pretty good.
Full name this year?
Gave my full name. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what. I didn't get that joke.
It was your one shining moment, Steve.
It was. All right. Who wants to start?
Health? Any health issue different from yesterday at all?
No. It's just great having him back. He's so important to us at both ends. Offensively, he's like our point forward, getting us organized. Defensively, he's calling out coverages. He's helping, covers up a lot of our mistakes, keeps possessions going with his help, and allows us to get another chance to get a stop rather than, giving up a layup on the first option. He'll like slide over and take that away, and he'll just do it so instinctively that it's pretty incredible to watch.
Most of this season, your 5 rotation has been based on matchup. Will that continue to be the case? Loon's starting mostly, but after that, it's kind of.
Yeah, I like what Belly has done in recent games. He gives us a good flow offensively. He's one of our best post players and passers. So it's great bringing him off the bench. So that'll continue tomorrow. And then, once you get to the playoffs, all bets are off, and whatever matchup makes the most sense, you go with.
Was Steph just, I assume, still doing just shooting?
Yeah. So we practiced on one side of the court or one court, and he got his shooting in on the other court.
Is it a generally full speed shooting routine he's able to go through?
Not full speed, but he's moving, and came out yesterday really well, and seems to be doing well today too.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Is James still hanging around the team? Is he just, now that his season's done, or is he going to be traveling with you guys during the playoffs? And how important is it to keep him involved even if he can't be out there?
Yeah, he's on the bike downstairs right now, getting his conditioning in. He's in the training room every day. He's out on the floor when we're, talking about concepts. So he's absorbing everything, and he will travel with us on the road and during the playoffs. And, every bit of experience is important, even if he's not, playing.
How much does the schedule in the playoffs sort of help with situations like Steph's and others? Kerr and I were talking earlier about how, all the things you get used to all year, the back-to-backs, the multiple city trips, it all changes at it feels like it is the most important time of the year, and yet the whole rhythm kind of changes. How does that affect you guys? And, you get to practice more, obviously, next week.
Yeah, we'll get a little more practice in next week. We'll get a little more rest for Steph. And then once the playoffs do start, and generally you're playing, first round, you get a couple of days rest in between some of the games. And at minimum, you get a day off in between. So that'll help with the number of guys that we have who need the recovery time. Clay, Otto, Andre. We really haven't played those guys in back-to-backs all year. So getting that extra day's rest is important for us.
You touched on this the other day. Draymond made a couple of threes. You have Otto and Belly, both bigs that can make threes. If Draymond can make an occasional three, what does it do that you have that kind of flexibility with your bigs that can kind of stretch the floor?
Yeah, people are going to pay the most attention, obviously, to Steph and Clay and Jordan, Wiggs. So when you can put bigs out behind the three-point line and open up the floor, It's a big factor for spacing, for execution, and it's one of the reasons we were so excited to sign both Belly and Otto because of their three-point shooting, but also their skill out there as screen setters, passers. And Draymond has always been one of the best screeners in the league, one of the best passers. So even if he's not making threes, he's still effective out there getting other people open. But when the play breaks down and the shot clock starts winding down, we want him taking that open shot in rhythm. And if he can make, a three or a couple threes, it makes a big impact on the game.
How much does it help that both Draymond and Belly are very willing passers and very good at it?
It's huge. I've always loved bigs who can pass. The first team that I coached here between Draymond, Bogues, David Lee, it's a wonderful passing team, and became a big part of our offense. And then we continued to add players in that mold. Zaza was an excellent passer. David West, now Belly and Otto. Just a lot easier to run offense when you have bigs who can pass. It changes the dynamics quite a bit, and it's a lot more fun to play that way.
People have been complimenting Gary's basketball IQ all season long, even probably dating back to last season. But how have you seen his IQ grow this year, especially as he's played more minutes and had an increased role?
Well, he's had to listen to Andre and Draymond all year. So every mistake he makes, those guys let him know. And, the more playing time he's gotten, the more experience he's gotten, the more situations he sees, the more circumstances he recognizes. And so he's gotten better and better as the year has gone on, and really become a key factor for us.
Steve, based on everything Clay obviously has been through the last couple of years, heading into the playoffs, do you see like a newfound just like gratitude and excitement from him?
Yes. I mean, mixed in with the frustration of, him wanting to be great right away. It's kind of been back and forth. I've noticed the last week, it seems to me he's just in a much better place. He was smiling and laughing through practice today. I think he's just having so much fun being back out on the floor again. And I think that should be a big focus for him, is that, regardless of what happens in games, he's back, he's playing. He's loving, being part of things. He's loving the competition. And the more he leans into that, the better, really being appreciative of the opportunity to play and less focus on, I've got to be perfect every single night.
You closed with Porter against the Jazz. He seems to kind of fit that lineup. When you do go smaller, you want Draymond at the 5, but Otto can kind of be a little bit rugged inside, but also space the floor. How important of a playoff component in certain lineups will he be?
Otto will be huge for us. We can play him in a lot of different lineups, but his ability to shoot the perimeter shot opens up the floor. And if we do play small and he's out there with Draymond, he's an excellent rebounder. And, when we say we're playing small this year, it's smaller than in the past. In the past, small really meant fast, but we still had lots of size. But this year, our team's definitely smaller when we go to those combinations, especially if we go with Steph and Jordan together. So we're going to need rebounding, and Otto's an excellent rebounder.
He early in the season, he had some big nights for you in big games, 19 points in Phoenix, I think in Utah. It's been quieter lately. He still obviously provides the floor spacing, but do you see him getting back to maybe the productive level that he was early in the season?
I think so. I think most veterans, are guys coming off injury absences like Otto. The grind of the season can slow you down a little bit. You hit a couple of valleys, and it's kind of natural to pick up the pace again once the playoffs are near, and you just have more energy and you have more days off in between games, and there's a greater sense of urgency. I think all that leads to, for a lot of veteran players, more production, and kind of really leaning into what they do well. That's the value of having experience and time during the playoffs. All right, thanks.